Well, despite being the third party in the current CUSMA agreement, there will be no bilateral trade agreement with Mexico. But Ottawa says it is pushing forward to strengthen trade ties with the country.
We discussed many aspects of the bilateral relationship, and we also discussed the desire for a strong North American economy. And in particular, Canada will continue to seek strong relationships both with Mexico and the United States for the benefits of...
That's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand and Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne. They met with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum earlier this week. President Sheinbaum said the talks were productive, but she poured cold water on the idea of a bilateral agreement between the two countries. So for a closer look at the Canada-Mexico relationship, we're joined this morning by Shauna Hemingway, Senior Special Advisor with the Business Council of Canada for Mexico and the Americas. Good morning.
Good morning.
What kind of trade agreement, first of all, was Ottawa hoping to accomplish, and why didn't President Sheinbaum agree to it?
Well, the question that President Sheinbaum was actually asked in that press conference was, do you only want to sign a bilateral agreement with Canada? And she quite rightly responded that, no, it's not necessary for us to sign a bilateral agreement because we have the CUSMA. She's been consistent from the very beginning. She's very committed to the CUSMA, as I've seen from the Canadian government. And in fact, President Trump himself has repeatedly underscored and placed in a very special position the CUSMA agreement. So I think all three leaders are aligned, and I believe Canada was looking to strengthen our bilateral trade and investment ties and doing that within the platform of CUSMA, because if you go into more agreements with the same partner, it does create sort of a spaghetti bowl effect, which means that it's more difficult for businesses to act within that environment.
Mexico has said it expects an earlier review of CUSMA. It is supposed to happen in July of 2026. I think all three countries are expecting there to be an earlier take apart, maybe. Where do they stand? Where does Mexico stand on the current agreement?
Mexico has been all for CUSMA. I think clearly has recognized the value to Mexico, but I think the trilateral value. There's no question that it's a win-win-win, and they've been very strong in fighting for that and engaging Canada as well in terms of strengthening that agreement. There has been talk of an early start. Trade Secretary Marcelo Ebrard has indicated that this could begin as early as September or October, and I think that's framed around the actual process in the U.S., which is the beginning of public consultations formally on the 4th of October, leading to a report back to Congress in early January.
Just to remind everybody, because we've talked so much in this past year about our trade with the U.S., but last year, Canada and Mexico traded nearly $56 billion worth of goods. Remind us, what's our major trade with Mexico? How much potential is there to expand that?
Yeah, it's very broad in terms of what we trade in. And what's interesting, I think, about the three countries in North America is we often trade within the same sectors and within the same products because it's such a fluid supply chain-based relationship that we have trilaterally. So Canada is very present in Mexico in trading in financial services, agri-food, energy, autos and auto parts, manufacturing, really across the board. We're very complementary. I think any Canadian would know in the winter how complementary Mexico's seasons are. And I think that's reflected in our agri-food trade in particular. But there's lots of potential. Both Mexico and Canada are seeking both food and energy security going forward, and we both see the absolute value in critical minerals, and we have complementary strengths there in terms of technology, labor force. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for Canada and Mexico to grow that engagement.
Well, definitely, especially as we're both, we're both part of an original agreement to begin with. We're looking for partners outside of the U.S., as is Mexico. The Prime Minister, we know, is set to meet Mexico's president for more trade talks. So what types of conversations will be held in those meetings that didn't happen with Anand and the finance minister?
I believe Canada and Mexico are really looking to focus in on the bilateral agreement and the bilateral, not bilateral agreement, the bilateral trade and investment relationship under the CUSMA agreement. And they're really looking to use that platform and strengthen it. We have a lot of objectives in common. We both see the value. We both see that CUSMA has placed us very much in a competitive advantage in terms of the rest of the world. So we're committed to that. But we can go deeper. Today, in today's environment, we need to be having discussions around migration and security and some of these issues. And I'm sure we'll be looking at the full range of elements in terms of the bilateral relationship. It's very broad, it's very rich, and they're the largest trading partner of our largest trading partner.
Shauna Hemingway, great to have your insight on this as those meetings wrap up this week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.